Andy. How are you? Switch that to live chat. Sorry, just getting everything ready. You know how it goes. Hey, Wisteria, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Just getting everything ready. Eddie will be right here. He had to run to the store real quick. Hey, Heather, how you doing, hon? Sorry, I'm running a little late. I had a bad night sleeping last night, but I'm good now. So it was, trying to wake up and get everything situated. Hi, Nicole. How you doing, hon? Oh, don't do that. Everything's got to mess with me now. How is everybody? Hold on one second. I see your messages. Give me 1 second. That's what it is. Wrong way. dlive goes there. YouTube goes there. Good. Thanks, Miss. Just had dinner. Steak marinated with garlic. Ooh, that sounds so good. Dark soy. Is there a difference between dark soy and light soy? Served with peas, carrots. You lost me at carrots, but that's okay. No, I didn't. I haven't had my brekkie yet. I have not. Hey, Circle, how you doing, hon? Hey, Sophie. Nice, Sophie. Very cool. Hey, G-Smoke. I missed you coming in. I'm sorry. Not awake. I'm not totally awake yet. Oh, okay. All right. Good to know. See, I don't know that stuff. Dark soy is for cooking with. Gotcha. Good. That's good, Heather. I like hearing that. I don't even have those. If they are working, you wouldn't hear them because I didn't have my speaker on. I'm doing good. I had a very restless night. I have a feeling it was due to the full moon, but very restless night. That's why I'm late. I didn't set up stream. I got up. I had it. Actually, Eddie came home and he forgot his key card, so he woke me up knocking on the door. So, and I didn't wake up. I woke up right before you shot me the message, Nicole. It's okay. It happens. It happens. I expect it sometimes. We all go through those emotions, getting rid of shit that you don't need, so you let it play out in your dreams. I got to wipe sweat from everywhere. I'm freaking hot as hell. Yeah, moon cookies are on strike. Moon cookies are on strike. I hope everybody's doing well, though. Let me see, get that up. There we go. My sounds aren't working yet still. No. Hey, Dead Soul Gamer, how you doing, honey? Wakey, wakey. Hey, Spitfire, how you doing, hon? Moon cookies, Andy. Moon cookies are on strike. Not for Fluky, but for everybody else. I love you, Nicole. Hello, Jen T. How are you? Good morning. Well, I don't know where you are, but good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's morning here. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to have to, take them out and then reinstall them. I just haven't gotten over to dlive to do that yet. Tired, been cleaning and waiting for my grandpa. Gotcha. I hear you. Oh, okay, Oklahoma. All right. Doing good. That's good. Good. I'm doing good as well. Thank you for asking. Oh, Lord. Just trying to wake up. Here he comes. I hear the door. Here he comes.
To save the day. Or blow it in some way.
Right?
Shut up.
Oh, that's cool, Dead Soul Girl. That's awesome. That's right. Hers will be graduating.
Oh my God, YouTube, right?
Yeah, I didn't do. So today, on today's show, we're going to be talking about Indrid Cold. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but if not,
I guess you'll find out.
You'll find out.
Come on. Restream sucks.
Aw, Claire, I'm glad we do that for you. So glad to see you guys. Totally cheer me up, I swear. But now you have to get your capping gown. All right, hon. Will you have a great... Oh, that's a little loud.
Yes, it was.
Woo! Thank you, Heather, for the lemons. Will you have a great graduation, hon?
Who is it?
Proud of you, Dead Soul Girl Gamer.
Congratulations, Dead Soul.
Have a great graduation, hon.
It's lying. It says Heather Chillin' 2 sent a woman.
No, she sent tainted them all.
It says a woman.
Remind me that I gotta do 400 today because I totally forgot to do them yesterday. Totally.
Just totally.
Totally.
I don't think it was the fact that you sent the lemons, it was how loud she had it.
Yeah. Okay, Andy, I know. You guys got to remind me.
Hi, everybody.
And he said, don't forget the lemons. Hey, Lockbeard. Why is that held for review? Are you trying to flip me off? Is that why?
That's probably what they thought it was. Oh, he did?
Oh, he did flip me off. See how you are, Lockbeard? I see how it is. I feel the love.
Hey, Nicole, Andy, Lockbeard, Mysteria, Sophie, Heather. Everybody else I'm missing. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole, for the ice cream. Yeah.
If I don't see you guys the rest of the week on Shadow Show, I apologize. We have trucks the rest of the week.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are so funny, I tell you.
I might have to go crack that window open.
I know, I was thinking that.
Holy crap. Welcome to Alaska.
Yeah, right.
Open the windows.
Where it's balmy. Is there even any wind coming in there?
No.
Oh, you rock, Heather. You guys rock.
Oh, is that still not fixed?
No, I have to go in there and fiddle around with it. So yeah, today we're talking about Indrid Cold. And it has to do with the Mothman and the Men in Black. We'll talk about it all.
It's always about the Men in Black. Sea lions sometimes do too.
That's true. That is very true. Not gonna lie. Yes, little Jimmy Dickens. I saw him at the Grand Ole Opry years and years and years ago.
Is that Spitfire?
Yes.
What don't have something to do with exactly? That's what I'm saying. It's always about the MIB.
Exactly. So John Keel is the one who went to go investigate the Mothman. And I'm going to read you the foreword in his book, which I still have, which is Visitors from Lanalos. This is early in November 1966. 2 construction workers were driving south from Marietta, Ohio, heading for their homes near Point Pleasant, West Virginia, when a strange flying contraption appeared over the highway and settled in front of their car. A man in glistening coveralls stepped from the object, walked over to the astounded men, and engaged them briefly in a seemingly pointless conversation. He wanted to know where they were from, who they were, and where they were going. He did not volunteer any information about himself, and the startled pair were taken aback to ask any questions. After exchanging a few words, the man returned to the object, and it ascended quietly in the night sky and disappeared. The 2 men talked the whole thing over and decided to keep their mouths shut because they feared that no one would believe them anyway. A month earlier, 2 16-year-old boys in Elizabeth, New Jersey, allegedly saw a large man in shiny coveralls standing behind a high wire fence, paralleling the New Jersey Turnpike. That same night, there were some excellent low-level UFO sightings around the Wanakee Reservoir, a few miles north of Elizabeth.
Hey, Circle.
Hey, Bear. Oh, I already said Bear.
He says, oh, no, a UFO? Never on this show.
He said, I interviewed the boys carefully and separately. They both told the same story and details, too complex to outline here, seemed to rule out any ordinary explanation. Later, during one of my frequent trips to West Virginia, I talked with the construction workers. They were reluctant to discuss their strange adventure and instead insisted they didn't want to get involved. The bizarre story of Woodrow Derringer's encounter with a man in shiny trousers and a black coat on a rainy night of November 2nd, 1966, was widely publicized, but I did not have an opportunity to meet Mr. Derringer personally until about 3 months later. By that time, he was making additional claims of repeated visits from men who presumably piloted flying saucers. When I first visited his rural home near Mineral Wells, West Virginia, I half expected to find a wild-eyed kook spouting pseudoscience and sophomoric philosophies. Instead, he turned out to be a gentle, robust man with a close-cropped sandy hair and deep blue eyes. His sincerity was obvious, and he had a fine reputation for honesty. He did not try to give me a contactee sales talk, but merely tried to present the facts as he knew them. I have had considerable experiences with UFO witnesses and contactees, claimants, and have developed a set of rather tricky questions, which I use to cross-check their stories.
Hi, Patrick.
Hey, Patrick. I was somewhat amazed when Mr. Derenberger was able to relate certain details common to many contactee stories. Even those details have never been published and unknown even in the hardcore UFO buffs. On the first night in Mineral Wells, a group of us gathered behind Derenberger's house and watched a series of small globs of bluish light flitting mysteriously a few feet above the ground in a nearby field. He claimed the lights were being controlled by Indrid Cold, but I wasn't ready to buy that. I ventured alone into the field and discovered two interesting facts. First, the field was surrounded by an electric fence. Ouch. Secondly, a rather nasty bull had taken up residence there. I got shocked, hurtled headlong into a large puddle of mud, and was then chased by the bull. I was a bit too busy to really discover the source of those lights. They might have been distant automobile headlights filtering through the trees. Even though they seemed to be in the field itself, we'll never know. When West Virginia experienced monumental little publicized UFO flap throughout 66 and 67, thousands of witnesses all over the state claimed to be seeing eerie lights and strange circular flying machines in their skies. I myself saw several of these things during my wanderings about the state. There is no doubt that something very unusual was happening there. Other contactees appeared to have appeared in other areas of the state.
Hey, aliens.
Hey, Emerald Aliens, how you doing, hon?
Hi, Amora.
Hi, Amora. Other contactees appeared in other areas of the state, all making claims similar to Mr. Derenberger's, and most of them were able to provide these secret, unpublished details.
What's up, Nubs?
Hey, Nubs! Even the psychiatrist who was among the first to examine Mr. Derenberger's later claimed, even he claimed a contactee experience later on. During one of my first interviews with him, Woody told an incredible story of how he had been flown to Lanalos, and he described some unbelievable facts of life in the unknown planet. Later, I was to hear those same incredible details from other contactees in other states, even through the full Derenberger story has not been published until now. I mean, obviously there's a lot more, but how could somebody know?
Well, I like the fact, too, though, that he was like, I was too occupied to figure out where directly exactly the lights were coming from. Instead of just, well, I know they were coming from the tree, blah, blah, blah. He even was just like, I can't be sure.
Right,
because he was chased by a bull.
Right, after getting shocked by the fence.
The bull isn't going to listen and say, wait a minute.
I just want to check these out.
Let's take a time out for a minute, and then we'll resume.
Hey, Freaky Geek.
What's up, Freaky? What's up, Smoke?
But yeah, I mean, for him to have, now we'll get into it, and we'll get into his story and what happened to him. Talking about Derenberger. But Indrid Cold has always fascinated me. Because if you haven't heard of the story, Indrid Cold was, I guess you could label him a MIB, but he was a nice one. He wasn't a, you know what I mean? He still looked, he was labeled the smiling man. And, yeah, so I think that's why it always interested me. Like, why was he so nice when all of the other ones were, like, creepy? I mean, I'm sure he was creepy as well. But just,
Right.
And more than one person's talked to him.
So, well, the good cop, bad cop kind of thing.
Right, but there's only been one that I know of. Indrid Cold. And he's the one that, remember that lady was talking about in Hellier?
Yeah.
That had his daughter and son came to visit her or whatnot, and then she never heard from him again.
Feather says he was the Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith kind of MIB.
Yeah, exactly. Patrick's like, you have to be careful of the different creepy factor. Yeah, that's true.
Freaky said he had a different creepy factor.
Or you have to be careful of people who smile a lot. Hi, Orion Grace. How are you?
How you doing, Grace? Snuck right on in. I didn't see Grace come in.
And if you ever seen this picture, let me pull it up real quick. This is what the smiling man looks like.
Me when I'm high.
Well, pretty much. No.
Hey. Thank you, Freaky Geek.
Oh, it's not going to let me. I can't. It helps if you press the right button. Never mind.
It's funny. I was just going to ask you if you clicked on the share button.
No, I was trying to blow it up and then. So that's basically
a polite Joker.
Yeah. In shiny overalls. But I mean, they had this one too. But that one's the villain. It's like a cosplay thing. Same with that one. But that's him. He would always come out of a UFO and everything like that.
Just trying to carjack that guy.
I doubt it. But a lot of interesting information came from Indrid Cold. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, that's nice that you're saying hi to Greenstream Blackbeard. Not most people do.
Hey, Misty Cat.
Hey, Misty Cat. Yeah, I didn't have the stream set, so yeah, I just went live at 10.
Freaky Geek, you might want to watch what you're saying. I've not tasted anybody to know if they are sweet or sour.
I just saw Heather. The X-Files? They could have. I think they did, to be honest. I think in the later version, the 3 that they made after X-Files, the one that when they came back. But don't quote me on that. I don't know. I was not a really I was not really, I mean, I'm an X-Files fan, but I wasn't like a religious watcher of X-Files.
That's still kind of freaky Geek. That's actually creepier. It always starts with a hand.
Nicole Spartan Hearts.
Let's make it easy to take the...
Thank you, Patrick, for the ice cream. No problem, Wisteria.
So this is where you can have the fun about it, though.
Right.
When you don't know.
Right. So, the sewing machine salesman. Thank you, Amora, for the ice cream. Patrick for the 2 ice creams. I show. Oh. So, on Wednesday, November 2nd, 1966, around 7:30 p.m., a sewing machine salesman named Woodrow Derenberger stops in an isolated stretch of Highway I-77 near Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. A flying vehicle that looked like an old-fashioned kerosene lamp chimney had overtaken him and stopped in front of his truck. So the UFO looked like an old, remember the kerosene, tops of the kerosene heaters?
Yeah.
Or the lanterns?
Yeah.
It looked like that. As the baffled salesman looked on, a man who looked perfectly natural and normal as any human being descended from the ship.
Hey, distracted.
Hey, easily distracted, how are you? The salesman recounted his experience the next day to the local news, saying, I'm a salesman and I drive a truck. And last night, shortly after 7 p.m., I was coming from Marriott, Ohio, coming down Interstate 77. And just before I came into the intersection of Route 47, there was a car that passed me, overtaking me from behind, and following close behind this car was this unidentified flying object. And as the car behind me passed me, this object was following close behind it and swerved directly in front of my truck, turning crosswire. And when it turned crosswire, it slowed down. It started slowing, not abruptly or fast, but gave me plenty of time to step on the brakes and slow down with it. But it forced me to come to a complete stop. As soon as I had stopped, there was a door that opened on the side of this vehicle, and a man stepped out and came directly to me, came to the truck. He walked to the right-hand side of the truck and he had told me to roll down my window. He asked me to roll down the window on the right-hand side of my truck. So he's on the passenger side. I done what he asked, and this man stood there and he asked me what I was called.
Bob.
And I knew what he meant, my name, so I told him my name. And then he asked me, he said, why are you frightened? He said, don't be frightened. We wish you no harm. He said, we mean you no harm. We wish you only happiness. And I told him my name, and I told him, what? And I told him my name, and when I told him my name, he said he was called Cold.
C-O-L-D.
Yes.
Okay.
And so began a most odd period of time in West Virginia that would provide the area with a unique and unrivaled lore, attracting tourists and media alike for years to come. But what really transpired during the year of 1966 in Point Pleasant, West Virginia? Gravediggers and lovers heightened hysteria. A little over a week later, on November 12, 1966, 5 men allegedly watched something fly from the nearby trees when they were digging a grave in a cemetery near Clendine, West Virginia. According to the officials' West Virginia Department of Commerce website, the stunned men described what they saw as a brown human being that flew out from the trees and glided over their heads. 3 days later, in about 1.5 hours away, 2 young couples from Point Pleasant, West Virginia, reported to police that they had also encountered a large flying creature with red eyes.
Oh, if it wasn't the year that you said, I'd have been thinking, man, they got them fucking bat suits now.
Right, yeah. They decided it was a large flying man with 10-foot wings that followed their car while they drove through an area outside the town known as the TNT area, the site of the former World War plant. The TNT area is described mostly forest, dotted with numerous grassy clearings and concrete domes, and is also riddled with abandoned tunnels, which most of which have collapsed, been sealed off, or became flooded with water. The area houses around 100 concrete store igloos constructed during the World War II era, which were used to store dynamite and designed to be unnoticed from the air.
Freaky said, could it have been a fox bat? They are large as a 5-foot person. I ain't never seen a fox bat actually personally, and I never even heard of one until just now.
No, I know exactly what he's talking about, and no. This happened in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Does that name sound familiar?
Point Play, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that where the little people are?
Well, yeah, kind of. But there's also something else, what we're talking about here.
Mothman.
Right. Very good. Holy crap.
That's where the bridge collapsed, didn't it?
Yes.
Look at me.
You all right?
No, I got a pain and it's behind my eye.
That's not good.
Go ahead, I'll be okay.
Okay. By that weekend, there had been an additional sighting which caught the attention of local media outlets. According to the November 18, 1966 of the Williamson Daily News, a Dodge Ridge County, West Virginia man claimed to have seen the creature in a meadow outside of his home. You all right? Right, Lockbeard? He's like, not many foxbats in Virginia. He goes, dang old Mothman, though. This sighting reportedly took place around 90 minutes before the Point Pleasant sighting. Doddridge County appears to be at least one or more likely 2 hours away from Point Pleasant via car. However, the Point Pleasant couples claim to have witnessed the creature traveling up to 100 miles per hour and easily keeping up with their speeding vehicle. The Doddridge County man asserted that during an otherwise normal night, his television had begun to make odd sounds, like a generator winding up. And the screen ultimately blinked out, leaving a fine herringbone pattern on the display. So, like if people don't know what a herringbone pattern is, it's like the chevron pattern. Hey, Mo!
What's up, Mo?
After the TV went out, the man joined his German Shepherd dog, Bandit, who had begun to howl on the porch outside. Standing there, the man pointed his flashlight into a field outside of the house and saw something with eyes like red bicycle reflectors. The dog ran off into the field with his hackles raised, ready to attack. The man ran inside to get a gun, but was too scared to go back outside, and he never found or saw his dog again.
No, that dude, that's so wrong.
Interestingly, the two young couples that were chased by the creature only 90 minutes after this incident would separately report to the police that as they were driving, they saw a large dead dog lying along the side of the road. They all agreed that they passed the same point later in the night while fleeing from the creature, and the dog's body was no longer there.
Hey, Ghost Rider.
Hey, Ghost Rider. Police searched the TNT area, but were never able to recover the dog or any evidence of the Mothman. The strange events continued the very next night on November 16, 1966. A 21-year-old woman and her friends walking back to their vehicle from a social call to a friend's house located near the same TNT area in Point Pleasant. The woman was carrying her 3-year-old daughter, and as they paused to discuss some mysterious lights hovering above the trees at night, the woman noticed a large dark figure standing directly in front of her. She described initially noticing that what appeared to be the legs of a man, but immediately realized that they were covered in gray feathers, and she could not see her feet, or could not see any feet.
I got a question though, because if we're talking about the Mothman right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We covered a few different stories about the Mothman.
Right.
Now they're saying that this giant creature killed this dog, but this Mothman killed this dog. But all the other stories we've covered, he's never harmed anybody. He's there to try to warn them.
Right. Well,
we're doing good, Mo. Doing good.
I mean, they really didn't say that the Mothman killed the dog. I'm wondering if they hit the dog with the car.
Okay, the way it's being not by
right,
you, but the way it's being deciphered.
Insinuated.
Yeah, that the Mothman did it.
Right.
Okay. See, I paid attention in school.
Let's see.
Dogman Cam's crazy dude talking about bat-winged things that consume people exactly like those things on Beastmaster, or someone can't watch scary movies.
Oh, geez.
Oh, thanks, Ghost Rider.
I haven't seen that channel, Blackbeard.
Hey, UFO in Akron, Ohio.
Hey, UFO in Akron, Ohio. I've been to Akron, Ohio. That's where my aunt lived for a little bit.
Yeah, I just threw that name out of there, out of the blue. You had to look to make sure I was actually saying somebody's name.
No, I was actually reading Ghost Riders, and then UFO in Akron, Ohio was right after that.
Akron, Ohio, that's pretty cool. I was born and raised in Erie, PA. Not too far from you.
Okay, she described initially noticing what appeared to be legs of a man, but immediately realized that they were covered with gray feathers and she could not see any feet. At first, she thought it was a large man in a gray jumpsuit, but upon focusing on the individual, she realized that the 6-foot-tall creature had a neck that looked like it went down and in like a bird. As her friends screamed and ran back to the house, the woman's legs gave out from under her. Dropping her young daughter, she fell hard onto the toddler. The woman, finally able to regain her composure, collected her daughter and ran for the house after hearing what she interpreted as flapping of enormous wings overhead, as though the creature had flown away.
With Styria, there's a good chance that did happen. The story is exaggerated Mothman for tourists to come.
I believe in Mothman. I believe it's real.
No. She's saying, was it exaggerated?
Oh, exaggerated? I don't think it meant to be. I think people were actually, around this time, were seeing a lot of the Mothman.
Either that, at the same time, they were probably just too terrified. And
yeah.
When you're scared, you're just spitting shit out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we get you. He said, yes, not discrediting the sightings. Right. No, I think, because when you're scared, these people didn't know what the hell was going on.
And like Sophie said, it sounds like that, Claire, like an urban legend.
Yeah, but I believe the Mothman really happened.
I believe that there actually was a creature called the Mothman. I really do.
There's sightings of it today, and it's weird to me to see, the Mothman to me is a harbinger of death, like a warning system. And he's been seen around different places that things happen. After the woman and her friends locked themselves inside the house, the creature continued to reemerge, shuffling on the porch, pushing on the door, and peering in windows. Eventually, it left them alone and disappeared. However, the woman was deeply traumatized afterwards and insisted that the creature had a link to her and would come back. She had to seek medical treatment for anxiety afterwards and felt though she could still hear the creature's high-pitched sound, like a woman screaming outside her window.
That's pretty good, Freaky.
At night.
Because I said they're terrified. They're just spitting words out.
Right.
Now I know why some folks wear diapers on their heads.
Right. The rash of frequent sightings and reports continued for around 2 weeks after the initial Mothman sighting. Reports of strange experiences in the area continued for months afterwards, intermittently, yet not with as much frequency or fever as the initial claims. Though the encounters seemed to dissipate within time, the sightings continued regularly until the collapse of the Silver Bridge in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, over a year later, on December 15, 1967. The Silver Bridge collapsed due to a design flaw in which the failure of a single eye bar in a suspension chain due to a small defect created a domino effect through the entire structure. The collapse occurred during rush hour traffic and resulted in deaths of 46 people.
Sophie, you're absolutely right. You can't have a circle of 20 people, tell one person something, and by the time it gets through all 20 people, it's going to be nothing what you said.
Right. The sightings of the Mothman abruptly stopped after the Silver Bridge collapsed, leading many to speculate that the creature was a harbinger of doom. Other theories surmise that the Mothman could have visited Point Pleasant to warn of the imminent collapse of the Silver Bridge, or was lured there in anticipation of the event, or caused the tragedy itself. According to author John Keel, he's also the one that wrote about Indrid Cold, who moved to West Virginia to chronicle, and he made the Mothman Prophecies, the movie, who moved to West Virginia to chronicle the bizarre happenings. At least 100 people personally witnessed the creature between November of 66 and November of 77. Sighting of the creature, similar to the Mothman, have been reported in association with other major tragedies as well. On September 10th, 1978, in Freudenberg, Germany, approximately 21 miners were blocked from entering their job site by a creature with glowing red eyes on its chest, with huge dark wings at its back and the body of a man.
Oh, absolutely, Mysteria. There is a town basically dedicated to the Mothman.
You probably saw the Mothman the Mothman Prophecies. Did it have Richard Gere in it?
Well, she's saying I was asking because I saw your documentary that showed how they sell Mothman statues, T-shirts, etc. And the cafe does a Mothman pizza and coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So she's talking exactly in that town. Where, yes, isn't it the largest statue in the town?
Well, I mean, yeah, but
is of Mothman?
I think so, probably. But the thing about is too, I mean, why not? They get millions of people there, or at least they used to, flocking to want to see where the Mothman was. So why not make profit off of it? I can understand it. It's a little sleepy little town.
Wagner says it perfectly. Claim. These fish are giants. Translation, we just stopped the pond.
Right?
All right, Sophie. I'll make sure I write that on my calendar for you.
Yeah, and a lot of weird shit happened to John Keel while he was, whether you believe him, some people don't believe him, others do. You know, but not only this is also Hellier was the hobgoblins of Kentucky that ties in with it. It's so weird. The whole situation is weird. See, I'm not I mean, don't get me wrong, Misty Cat, I probably would be scared if I saw it. But I'd like to see it. I'm weird that way.
You know, and that's funny, though. I don't think I'd be afraid to see it. I really don't. I think it'd be interesting. It's only barn owls that scare the shit out of me at night.
Yeah, I know. So, like I said, on September 10th, 1978, in Freudenberg, Germany, approximately 21 miners were blocked from entering their job site by a creature with red glowing eyes on its chest, with huge dark wings on its back and the arms and the body of a man. The workers fled from the creature as it unfurled its wings and shrieked. They discovered later that the mine had collapsed during the same workday, and if the men had been working, they would have either been killed or trapped. There was a rash of Mothman sightings in Chernobyl before the nuclear disaster. At least 4 people claimed to see winged creature over the site of the catastrophe before the failure. There were also claims that the first responders reported sightings of a winged creature circling in and out of the black smoke in the hours after the disaster.
I'm sorry, I'm going to guess, Blackbeard, you better pluck off what other feathers or whatever he has, though, first.
However, these reports remain largely unverifiable, as supposed witnesses of which were either killed in the explosion or died as a result of the radiation exposed. The creature became known as the Blackbird of Chernobyl.
You know, easily distracted, as funny as it sounds, I think that anybody that actually encountered the Mothman these days would probably try to communicate with it.
Not only that, but let me ask you guys something, because I just thought of this as I was reading that. Like, they've seen it at Chernobyl, they've seen it at the miners. Now, if you see the Mothman, now, to me, like I said, I believe it's a harbinger. You know, it's a warning system. Listen, something's happening, right? Who's to say it's not an angel? I mean, you don't know. I've never seen an angel. I can only see what people have, drew, or, you know what I mean, of what angels look like. I don't know what they look like, to be honest. But if you saw the Mothman in your town, would that make you think to leave town? That a disaster is going to happen?
It wouldn't make me want to leave town, but it definitely wanted me to open up more to watching the news and see what's going on. Like, especially here where we're because of earthquake activity.
Right, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Are we waiting for the big one to have the tsunami again?
Right. They have 7 finger shadows. Is that what it is?
It's only because they stole 5 of yours. No, they took 4.
So Nubs, you're saying that you're an angel?
And it's weird. I mean, would it be a warning sign that you seen the Mothman, or did you see him as he stopped the rest onto a different place? Maybe he had no intentions of people getting any warning. I just needed to rest before I carried on.
Right. Yes, Mr. Cat, we are.
We live right inside the Alaska Triangle.
He knows. Yes, I'm definitely an angel.
Stretch said I'd avoid all bridges.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Mysterious.
No, all I see is your horns, Nub.
Mysterious says I love Jesus. He was a hippie.
But it's because Sophie said, like, kind of like Jesus. If he did exist, how do we know what he actually looks like? Exactly. We don't know anything of only what we're told.
Exactly. In pictures or drawings or whatever, that's only by what people say.
Right.
You ever seen Jesus? I know I haven't. I don't know if he's white, black, if he's got long hair.
Well, hell, if I want to, say that, I mean, did you guys know that Metatron is actually, Professor Drake of Harry Potter?
You're going to confuse them.
Sorry, Dogma's my favorite movie.
You're right, Sophie. It's all stories that have been passed down through the generations. Hell, through the generations, fucking goddamn.
But yeah, so who's to say that the Mothman ain't an angel? You don't know. Nobody knows.
I mean, we know because
that's true. Easily distracted.
Because we've been taught. We know Lucifer is actually an angel.
Right.
A fallen angel, but he's evil. I wouldn't say evil.
Yeah.
He's devious is what he is.
Right.
He doesn't make you do anything evil or bad.
Heather said, yes, I did know that, Shadow.
He tricks you into doing it.
Right. Yeah, I love Dogma. Dogma's my absolute favorite movie. Right there with Practical Man. I know Eddie's like, yep, because we watched it. Whenever it's been on, I'm like, oh, Dogma's on. It's the only movie in the world that I actually can watch over and over again.
Honey, you want to watch a movie with me? What are we watching? Dogma. That's exactly what I said, Freaky. He's mischievous.
Yeah.
It can be because he technically hasn't hurt anyone. Mothman is always there when there's trouble.
That's what I think, Nubs.
Exactly, yeah. Nubs.
No problem, Nubs. No problem. Well, there you go, people. Angels do dishes.
Yes. I'll be damned. He just didn't fucking snap his fingers.
All right, so Mr. Cold and Company. Through the sightings of the Mothman would begin to fade away after the bridge collapse, residents of Point Pleasant continued to experience odd phenomena, such as mysterious phone calls, paranormal activity, and undefinable lights in the sky. The book that John Keel would go and write about the happenings would bear this description of the bizarre encounters. The inhabitants of Point Pleasant have been haunted by strange monsters and apparitions. Mysterious aerial lights have traveled slightly over the little town. Homes through the area are plagued with eerie, unearthly noises and ghostly manifestations. Residents will also began to complain of encounters with an enigmatic and well-dressed gentleman, much like Mr. Cold met by the sewing machine salesman outside of Parkersburg. Local reporter Mary Hire would have several interactions with what Keel would later popularize in his book as more baffling men in black types. An associate of John Keel's, Mary was well known for her extensive coverage of Mothman sightings in the newspaper. She wrote for the Athens Messenger. She was also the acting manager of her sister office in the 6th Street in downtown Point Pleasant.
Mark Beard just brought up a good point. He says, or is Mothman just noticed because humans are perked up, sensing something else is wrong?
Could be their manifestation.
Could it be exactly that? For the simple fact is, most of his stories, hurry back, Sophie.
Hurry back.
Most of the stories related around him is when something happens. So maybe they manifestate the Mothman because they're sensing something isn't right.
Maybe.
Do we have a warning coming? Is it him?
Or maybe it's kind of like the Mothman comes out because he's like kind of like my little girl that comes to me when my lights dim.
Oh shit.
What'd you do?
Are you still alive?
I hope so, yes.
I hit my fucking power button. I just lost everything. I'm down.
Oh, nope. It seems like one of your streams is having connection issues.
I got both of them are because both my screens are black.
Hold on, guys.
I'll keep going. I'll get there in a minute.
Okay. Well, yeah, you can still talk in the background.
Yeah, they can hear me. Back on, don't I?
Yeah. Am I back?
What is it?
Hold on, guys. Can you hear me?
The fuck did I do?
Sound but no image. All right.
I'm completely dead.
Hold on, guys. We're having tech issues here.
Both lights are on.
Is the power pack on?
Yeah.
All right, we'll give it a second to boot up. You said the lights are on?
Yeah. All my lights are working, but both my computer screens are black. Oh, hold on. I think I'm making progress here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's starting to.
See, okay, you guys can hear us. Okay.
Modern technology just takes forever. So keep going with your story.
All right. Well, they can't see me. I'm not on screen.
I don't know.
I'm scared to refresh.
Hold on.
Until you get back in here.
I'm starting my way back now. It's that damn Alaska Triangle thing, I'm telling you. It takes forever.
There we go.
That's weird that my computer has to be on for your camera to work.
I know. I don't know. Hey, Melanie. No problem.
Melanie.
That's weird. Thank you. Oh, were you saying welcome back to Sophie? I'm sorry. Never mind. So you guys can see me now? Yes?
All right. Let's see if I can redo this. What the fuck is that?
Okay, cool. Cool. See, I am here. All right. So we're just waiting for Eddie to pop back on. Awesome. Yeah, Eddie's computer still. It's weird because his computer went down, but it took out mine as well, which it shouldn't. Mine's on a whole different system. And it's, excuse me, and it's weird that I'm on, there's a thing for Eddie when I didn't even, oh, I might have to send you the invite guest thing again.
Well, you got to know, because I'll still have it up. I just got to go back through Facebook to go to the link again.
Okay.
And then you can invite or click me back on. But right now, my Chrome is taking forever to fucking load.
No problem, Sophie. And just so you know, when you mention McDonald's, that's a bad word here. I'm joking.
Very bad word here.
Hey, Val. How you doing?
Oh, no.
Where's that? It's out in the living room.
Okay, restore.
We're just waiting for Eddie to come back.
I'm on my way. Wait, live studio restream. Is it going to let me in?
All right, Mo, hurry back, hon. You're hanging? You hanging?
Oh, you got an Australian thumbs up, baby.
All right.
And you should get the bloop.
Get Eddie to wear a teddy?
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah. I'm not thinking that's gonna. Melanie.
I'm in the basement.
Melanie's swearing too. She said, I'm ordering McDonald's right now on an app. We can't do that.
I'm in your basement.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
There you are, baby. Oh, this is weird. This is like 3 people online now.
Huh? Why?
I don't know.
Oh, because it tried to rejoin when I not reset, but called back all the pages.
That's weird.
So no, technically what I would have to do is, can you make that leave?
No, there's no button for it at all.
I'll be back. Hold on.
It's still there, honey. It's going to be.
Hold on. It got to catch up.
It's been there the whole time you've been offline.
Well, it's because it was still showing me there because the page wasn't shut down properly.
Right.
Now I got to come over here and find the. Oh, damn. The link was just right there.
I wonder if I go like that when he comes up.
All right, I'm in the basement.
Oh,
No, it's still there.
All right, well, we got that's Indrid Cold. We got a third person.
Oh, that's the MIB.
Yeah, it is the MIB.
Missing in black.
Great. Okay, so, if something happens, you guys know what to do.
Why is this open? What the fuck is this even? What is going on?
What are you doing?
I don't fucking know. I don't need OneDrive open.
Gotcha, Lockbeard. Okay, yeah, kind of like I look at Spirit and UFOs and stuff. He's saying that the Mothman is there all the time, but maybe humans tend to notice it when their psych level is high alert.
And agreed. They are now manifesting the presence of Mothman.
It's Chaos's other personality. Might be. Might be.
It's my dark side. I'm still loading. I still get the blue circle of death over here.
On YouTube or?
Restream. And I mean, it's working, but it's still got the blue wheel of death near my cursor.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so talking about Mary Her on January 1967, okay, she was visited in her office by an odd man with thick glasses and long black hair that was cut like a bowl haircut. He kept asking her about the lights in the sky that she had reported about previously, even though most of her other news representatives and visitors primarily had questions about the Silver Bridge collapse or the Mothman.
Thank you, Heather. Heather said, welcome to the dark side. They have cookies. You bitch, Heather. You made me say it.
Mary said she was very struck by his voice, which was low and hesitating. She felt as though he had a speech impediment. Uh-oh, I can't see who.
Thank you, Amora.
Thank you, Amora, for the ice cream.
Heather tricked me.
Mary was very struck by his voice, which was low and hesitating. She felt as though he had a speech impediment, but could not place exactly why she felt that way.
Meant it completely out of love, Heather. Trust me, it was not disrespectful.
The man also kept getting closer and closer to her, and she noticed that he seemed to stare at her without blinking. After their interaction was interrupted by a phone call, which Mary happily had to take, the man began to intensely study a ballpoint pen on Mary's desk, like he's never seen a pen before. He then laughed loudly and ran out of the building, taking the pen with him.
Hi, Pammy.
Hey, Pammy. No problem, hon. Hugs to you, sweetie.
Don't burn yourself. Don't burn my goddamn dinner either.
The same night, a man would visit her home of other residents. The same night, a man would visit the home of other residents. He fit the same exact description as the man in Mary's office. He claimed to be a reporter for the Cambridge, Ohio, which was just a few miles away from Point Pleasant. But the man later reportedly, inadvertently admitted that he did not know where Columbus, Ohio was. Most of the people he had visited that night had witnessed mysterious lights in the sky, and all of them were very uncomfortable in the man's presence. Yet another, or perhaps the same odd man, would also visit Mary's niece, Connie Carpenter. According to John Keel's book, the man, who identified him as Jack Brown, told Connie that he was a friend of both Mary Her and John Keel. He initially asked if he could talk to her about a separate experience in which he had reported seeing the Mothman. Connie politely let him in, but quickly felt as though all of his questions... Thank you, Nicole, for the ice cream. Connie politely let him in, but quickly felt as all of his questions were geared specifically toward the reporters. At one point, the man asked, what do you think if what would Mary Hyde do if someone told her to stop writing about UFOs?
She keep writing about them.
No, he's asking her niece. What would you do? Or what would you do if Mary Hyde... What do you think Mary would do if she was told to stop writing about UFOs?
Keep writing about
them. Connie quickly retorted, she'd probably tell them to drop dead.
And keep writing about them.
Connie thought of his other questions seemed stupid or even unintelligible. Connie, her husband, and her brother all thought the man's strange demeanor was disturbing, but the man was also oddly physical. They all noticed that the man had unusually long fingers and that there was something very peculiar about his ears.
How you doing, Sancho?
Hey, Sancho, how you doing? They couldn't say exactly what, but there was something. So something made him, that red flag kind of
Something ain't
I don't
right.
know what it is, but something's just not right.
Something's off.
In February of 1967, Connie Carpenter was walking to school as usual when a large black Buick pulled up beside her. She described the driver as a suntan, clean-cut man who was around 25 years old. He gestured for her to come over to the car, and he opened the door.
Hey, kid, how you doing?
Hello, Mr. Minkster. Oh, you Gabriella?
Oh, the granddaughter saying greetings.
Oh. Well, hello, my lovely little girl. Hello, my son.
Yeah. You too, Ryan. Hi. Come on, he's got to put Briella on panel so everybody can see her. Serious. Come on, Mr. Mason, do it, you chicken shit. All right.
So he gestured her to come over to the car, and he opened the door. She initially assumed he needed directions. Upon Connie's approach to the car, the man grabbed her, ripping her blouse in the process, and tried to pull her in the car. She, however, fought back and was able to run away. Days later, Connie received a note regarding, "Be careful, girl, I can get you yet," which she insisted was from the man that had tried to abduct her.
Why was he trying to abduct her to begin with?
He's a man in bed.
It's my long night tonight. That works till 12. By the way, it's 3 p.m. Oh, Savannah works till 12.
See, Val, that's not... Subway's good. Subway's not a naughty word because we have that here.
We have Subway here, so you're good, Val. And if you run really fast, you can dodge a lot of the raindrops, so...
So, what was your question? He's like, I don't know.
Oh, why was the guy trying to abduct her?
He was one of the men in black. He's
the
one.
He was one of the bad men in black.
Yeah.
All right.
Excuse me. So, there were reports by residents of these odd men all over town. Common details of the men in black in Point Pleasant, West Virginia during the span of this time included... They were seen driving seemingly brand new but older models of black vehicles. The cars were usually models of Cadillacs, Buicks, and Lincolns that were at least 20 to 30 years old, yet in mint condition. They were often described as suntanned or olive-skinned with black, if any, hair. The men usually appeared to be foreign and had dark features, and were reported as displaying movements that sometimes appeared to be robotic in nature, or as moving as mechanical fashion.
Well, hadn't a lot of stories been said about Men in Black, and I think we talked about it a little bit too sometimes, that a lot of the Men in Black are actually aliens?
Right. They're trying to figure out if they are or if they were, you know what I mean? It's like the aliens, Majestic 12 or something. I don't know, you know.
Keep going, Sophie. It ain't hard for me to time you out.
The men in black in Point Pleasant also did not seem to know how to eat food properly. On one occasion, diners witnessed a man in a local restaurant who did not know how to use a knife or a fork. The men made the same kind of rambling, incoherent conversation as others perpetuated Men in Black, as the other perpetuated Men in Black. But he was also casually mentioning being from another world, which the waitress thought was a corny pickup line.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you? Sophie, I was just kidding, huh? Seriously. Lockbeard wants to know, why does our town have a Subway if it's too small to even have a McDonald's? It's not too small, Lockbeard. We actually have enough space to have McDonald's, Burger King, all that shit. They just don't want the monopoly thing going on here.
Not the game.
Yeah, not the game. This is a pretty self-sufficient, flow-flowing town.
Yeah. Motivation is hard to determine regarding the men in black, but most witnesses felt intimidated or scared by them. These individuals could easily be out-of-town oddballs attempting to enhance or be part of the hysteria gulfing Point Pleasant at this time. However, the reports of such individuals were detailed, verifying, and unrelenting. Tragically, Mary Hart would unexpectedly be found deceased in 1970 after a short illness. Many conspiracy theories question if her sudden death wasn't related to the work in publicizing the Mothman and UFO sightings in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, during 66 and 67. Well, that's good, Sancho. You only abduct people in sleep.
Okay, he was reading that. I was just fixing to say, did you see what he just said?
Yeah. While they're sleeping, you know.
Well, as long as they're sleeping, I guess it's okay. No, it ain't.
So conclusions and theories. The actual Indrid Cold was never definitively seen by or named to anyone other than the sewing machine salesman, Woodrow Derenberger. That's not true when this is stored anyway. Though many were people that claimed to have interactions with the men in black. Also, through Indrid Cold is casually referred to the grinning man. No reference to him smiling can be found in Derringer's initial description of him. That is weird. Like, why all of a sudden is he known as the grinning man? This reference seems to have originated from the story of the two young boys that saw an odd smiling man and the experience.
Bobby and Bruce?
Yeah, Bobby and Bruce were later conflated that certainly enhanced the creepy factor of Derenberger's account. Though Derenberger's initial claim of having interacted with the alien Indrid Cold were somewhat corroborated when the local paper also released reports from multiple witnesses of seeing a UFO or lights in that sky that night. Derenberger continued to add details after implausible detail. He would go on to interact with Cold again, as well as some of Cold's cohorts, Demo Hassan and Carl Ardu. Derenberger ultimately claimed that Cold took him to visit their alien planet, Lanalos. And the rest of the story reads a lot like Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut.
And now, for the rest of the story.
That's right. Derenberger enjoyed the publicity initially and went to co-author a book that detailed his experience, but after a while refused to talk to press. He then proceeded to disappear 6 months at a time from his home and family, citing alien abduction by Cold. Ultimately, Derenberger's claim about Indrid Cold would culminate in years of harassing phone calls, people trespassing on his property, ridicule, embarrassment, job loss, friend loss, headaches, and depression. His wife would eventually leave him and take the kids, citing the whole Indrid Cold ordeal.
Sophie, the perception of aliens being little green men has far left what we truly believe they used to be.
Because, well, no, a lot of that stems from like the sightings. There's different sightings, like the Hopkinsville goblins were little green men.
That has nothing to do with aliens.
They're aliens. Yes, they are.
Goblins are not aliens.
Well, that's what they call them, but they're aliens. They had like 3 fingers and antennae and Hellier. That's what Hellier was.
Okay, but they're not. I mean, she's saying, why are they always associated as little green? They're not. That's all I'm trying to say.
Right, but like the first sightings, like back in the day, were little green men, or there's other ones. There's other ones that were little and they were green and they were,
Goblin lives matter.
Huh?
Goblin lives matter.
That's right, damn it.
Little green guys' lives matter too.
Though the initial encounter with Indrid Cold may have seemed legitimate, it's hard to reconcile Derenberger's later details and exposition with reality. The frequency, depth, and simplicity of the witness accounts concerning the Mothman seem much more credible in comparison.
Thank you, Heather.
Listen, yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead. What do you got to say about that?
Talking bad about Alf, man.
No, Alf is my buddy.
Folklorist John Harold Brunvitz studied some of the information concerning the Mothman in Point Pleasant, West Virginia during 66 and 67 and concluded that there were elements in common among many Mothman reports and much older folk tales, suggesting that something real may have triggered the scares and became woven with the existing folklore. Initial reports of the Mothman were countered by Professor of Wildlife Biology at West Virginia University as a sighting of a large displaced sandhill crane. I'm sorry, as big as cranes get, yes, I get that. I don't think that's what I guess that what upsets me about people is like, even with UFOs or cryptids or anything like that, it's like, yes, there could be misidentification, but like when you get people, you know, they know what they saw. Do you know what I mean? Welcome back. They know what they saw. Like you get these Air Force pilots, well, not even the Air Force pilots, it could be commercial pilots. They're going to know if something was unidentified or if it was another plane.
Especially since they can see it.
Yeah.
But the tower's like, what traffic are you talking? There ain't nobody in your area. Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it right now.
Why is it passing me like I'm going backwards?
The bird, freaky geek, not the machine.
On cranes, they can get huge. Heron. The blue heron.
Yeah, that thing, man. Yes, the blue herring, I will say, is a big-ass creature. I thought there was a pterodactyl landing in the field across the street from me. That thing, because I'd never seen a crane or a heron before.
Yep.
And I was just like, what the hell is that thing?
That fucking thing is huge.
Yeah.
I think you can get up to like almost a 12-foot wingspan.
Yeah, blue herrings are scary. Like I said, I seriously thought it was a pterodactyl landing.
And the funny thing is they can walk light enough to walk on top of plants.
Yeah.
How the fuck is that even possible?
I think when I first saw my first blue herring, I was like, I only had Ryan and Taylor, so.
Yes, they are beautiful birds, Heather. Absolutely beautiful birds. And graceful when they're flying, too, which is surprising for their size and the shape.
Yeah. But, yeah, they're huge. So there have been
huge.
They're huge, Batavia, huge. I don't know if Ryan's still listening. That's twice now I've told that story over and over again about him saying it's huge, Batavia, in the longhouses.
Well, you just told me yesterday about the project that he did.
Yeah, and last night I told Raina. So Ryan's ears have probably been burning.
Probably. That's why he jumped in the room today. Like, are they talking shit about me again?
Right? So there have been verified instances of secret government aircraft being viewed by civilians. The government is an attempt to keep such projects confidential, having to admit to encourage the belief of UFOs and alien visitation as a convenient cover-up. The myth that extraterrestrial spacecrafts were visiting Earth was a convenient diversion to keep America's imagination running wild, at the point that it kept the Russians from knowing anything specific about true capabilities of the United States. And it's funny, when was this written?
The day the pen hit the paper.
Let me see if it says. This was in 2016, which is weird because now there's a statement coming out that all UFOs are terrestrial. They're not extraterrestrial. Meaning the government. It's the government.
So they are recognizing them now.
No, that they're saying that they're ours.
Oh, we own them.
Yeah.
Oh.
We
They're
made
not
them.
aliens. We made them.
Right.
Mm.
I didn't read into it. I just happened to pass by it.
I did a good
The article, you know.
I don't know what I did, but I did a good one. Freaky Geek said a good one, Eddie.
Good one, Eddie.
Sophie, because that could be taken so many different ways. You shouldn't say stuff like that, especially with Andy in a room. I'm onto my McFlurry.
Yeah, you have to watch what you say around Annie, I'm telling you.
And what's her name? I mean, what's her flavor? I mean, never mind. But yeah. So the government's finally saying that they're not aliens, we created them.
Yeah. That's what I saw today in something. I don't know on what.
Do you really think we created aliens?
No, that we didn't create aliens, that all the UFOs are ours.
Oh my God, Heather. I am old. We live in Alaska, but I am not fucking ancient. I know it's an ice cream treat from it. I worked at a McDonald's, for Christ's sakes.
But the paper touch paper. Smart ass freaky, I know. Oh, duh. So what do you guys think? Do you think this, I mean, here, I'll bring up John Keel's book again.
I think they're just trying to cover their tracks.
He said Woodrow Derenberg could have kept his mouth shut, as so many others have done. He did not have to try to speak out. In the past 2 years, I've traveled to 20 states investigating UFO incidents, and I've uncovered many silent contactees who refuse to allow their names to be printed and who prefer to keep their alleged experiences to themselves. The organized UFO buffs have been ignoring these people for years. And that's true. That's true. It's just the mainstream. Yeah. And some of the organizations that have been working to further ridicule and discredit those few who have had the guts to tell their secrets. It's time for us to listen to people. No matter how bizarre their tales may be, no matter how emotionally unacceptable their accounts are, it stands to reason, and if flying saucers do exist, then there is a chance, an excellent one, that one of these crackpots is telling us the truth. Woodrow Derenberger may or may not have that one, but at least deserves a hearing. And that's so true. And that's one of the reasons I have the channel, and that it's a safe place for people to come talk to about, this stuff. He said, my initial interview with Woody, he stated that Indrid Cold had told him that Welllllcome was in the constellation of Ganymede. Completely unknown to Woody and even unknown to most American UFO buffs. A group of contactees in Mexico claimed that they had taken some place to Ganymede in 1965. How would they know what exactly he said?
Unless it was put on paper.
Right. But it wasn't. It's a remarkable coincidence that so many contactees are beginning to talk about Jupiter's moon, which is what Ganymede is. Particularly since these stories are not being widely circulated. All of these people insane? Are all of them insane? I've talked to contactee claimants who are doctors, lawyers, newspapermen, police officers, and pilots. Woody has a lot of company, sane, reputable people. Perhaps we are the ones who have been insane for ignoring them for so long. Strange, unbelievable things are now happening to people all over the world. And by listening to the handful of courageous ones like Woody Derenberger, we may at least gain some real insight into what is really behind the UFO phenomenon. I'm not asking you to believe any of it, but I'm asking you to listen to what he has to say. Incredibly, though, it may seem, it is possible that these very same things could happen to you tomorrow.
But it also may seem like it's not plausible. Like it can never happen.
Right. Kind of like how John Keel feels about his contactees.
Did you see what Slancho just put?
Yeah. Is how I feel. And that's, that's what pisses me off, because so many people have lost so much for coming out and speaking about this. And it's bullshit.
Yeah, they've been basically proved to be liars. Just
not even liars, just
delusional people.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's sad. It's really sad of what people have lost in their life because of what they have seen.
What they know is real.
Right.
You can never convince anybody else that it's real unless they're standing right there next to you and seeing the same thing you're seeing.
Right.
Well, you know what, Sophie? That's funny because that's a whole different topic, and I'll tell you what, we'll talk about that on the weekend. How's that?
But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things to where, the thing of it is say it does come out that the UFOs are our government, right?
Okay.
Say it is, right? What is?
Oh no! I'm Sophie. No, you didn't say anything wrong at all. But that's going to take a twist into categories that we don't discuss on Shadow Show. But we can get into it on mine and Andy's show. But no, you said absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah. Oh no, not at all.
Sorry, I seen that and it was like, oh God, no, you didn't say anything wrong.
Right? No, not at all. But say they all turn out to be the governments, right?
Okay.
What is the government going to do to bring back everything that everybody's lost from saying this is what I saw?
They're not going to bring it. The government's taking more and more away. What makes you think they're going to give you back anything?
But I'm saying to somebody that's lost their life or ended up in a mental ward,
they're done.
It's ridiculous.
They're just kind of swept under the mat.
Yeah, and it's sad.
Just keep feeding them pills and let them be delusional. Okay? And that's the way our society takes it. And yes, you're right. It's beyond sad. It's beyond pathetic. It's beyond humanity.
Right.
You took and stripped these people of dignity, honor, love, and you made them feel like fucking idiots. Like they had no brain.
Yep.
They have no family or life. So I'm sorry. We just swung way off the path, and I apologize, honey.
I don't know, Bill.
No, I'm not misguided, delusional. I'm saying the right word, freaky geek. Why did the government close Helltown, Ohio?
That's why I just said I don't know.
Wasn't there a missile silo there? I think, wasn't there a missile silo in Helltown, Ohio?
I don't know. I will definitely look that up. Oh, I know what Helltown is. Okay. That's where, matter of fact, we've seen a documentary on that with Helltown. That's where that ghost town is.
Is that where the amusement park where the kids died in that pond?
No, that's Shawnee. No.
Okay.
If you saw, it's where that guy, they say there were Satanists there, but it's the one guy that, remember, he was a preacher and he opened up this whole space and then things kept happening there that was demonic.
Oh, and they thought it was him that was doing it.
Well, it was kind of like a cult.
Yeah, I think and wasn't it set back in the woods a little bit?
Yes.
And they weren't huge buildings. They were just kind of like tiny buildings, just big enough. I think I remember the one you're talking about.
And there was a chemical spill there.
Yeah, and the one door that of the church.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I knew as soon as you would start thinking about it, you knew exactly what I was talking about.
My Rolodex running here.
Right, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember which one that is now. She gives me...
Well, look at Cockatoo Island with
True.
Craig.
Sounded like Charles Manson kind of space. Well, it kind of was, but a lot smaller.
But I knew once you got a roll on it, you would know.
I figured out what Helltown was, yeah. And as a matter of fact, the church was kind of like up on pylons and shit.
Something like that. I don't know. It was very weird looking, yeah.
Yeah. Takes me a hot minute, guys. She feeds me a lot of information that I got to try to store. And surprisingly, I can still remember.
And as you can see, when I feed him that information, it's not like it's a lot of stammering and stuttering. Right? Everybody does blame Satanists, I know.
And they do. And it has nothing to do with that. I mean, just because that's what you were taught. Satanism, satanistic, whatever, is all bad. It's all bad.
You don't know what a Rolodex is?
Who?
Macho Sancho. He
What
said,
the
what
fuck
is
is
a Rolodex?
You know, you remember that thing? Like, you worked in an office, you had that round thing with the cards in it, and you spun the wheel until you got to a certain letter and shit that you needed. Yeah, that's called a Rolodex. Oh, Amora.
Oh, we love you too.
I cannot believe Sancho says, what the fuck is a Rolodex?
It's what's in Eddie's head, how all the information is stored.
And trust me, sometimes it hurts.
We can talk about that, Nicole, through the veil. We can talk about that next week if you want. I can do it.
What did she bring up?
Helltown.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Ohio.
Yeah.
We could definitely talk about Helltown in Ohio.
You know, a Rolodex is not a watch. No. Well, it is, but not the Rolodex I'm talking about. Shit.
Oh, shit. My grandma had one.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what's inside. That's what's inside Eddie's brain. Ancestor of a Filofax.
Vale, it makes you feel old. It's inside my fucking head. How do you think I feel?
When I feed information to Eddie, that's what's happening.
I'm only 24.
Oh, that's why, yeah.
I had a mouthful of beer, and so I was trying to get you to say it.
It didn't give up. All right, well, we'll definitely next week. All right, next Wednesday we'll talk about Helltown then.
No wonder why Sancho doesn't know what the fuck a Rolodex is. Do you know what the Dewey Decimal System is?
Hey, I don't want to hear none because I didn't. Well, I did know what the Dewey Decimal System, but I associated with the decimal point.
But you know what, Nicole? I might be younger than you and Andy. I'm both on your heels. And I've been through a lot of shit in my life.
I'm 29 and holding. And I have been for 20-some years.
I want to be or dial-up internet. Yep, I remember that. Yes, the library veil, the Dewey Decimal System. Sophie says, I'm 26 and know what Rolodex is. Shut the fuck. Hey, listen, we used to have to count on abacuses in school.
Yes, do you know what an abacus is?
I can't wait. I can't wait for these younger people to go, what the fuck is that? I bet you they're Googling the hell out of that right now. I'm close to your age, Vale. I think I'm older than you. Yes, that is the Dewey Decimal System, Sancho.
Nicole says, we had that too, buddy.
Ours wasn't but ours wasn't chiseled into rock.
And because these nuts.
Freaky Geek says it's a Chinese calculator, right?
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
I thought it was Greek, though.
Nope, it's actually Oriental. I know that.
You're a year older than me, Nicole.
Thing with the lake.
Or through the veil, I should say.
Yep, I knew I was older than Veil. And it teaches you to count. It's a thing with beads, and it teaches you to count.
Yeah, it's that thing. We all played with it when we were like in kindergarten too. It was like a toy for us.
Yeah, well, yeah, back then.
And then when we had to use it to go in math, we were like, "What? I thought
what the fuck is this? I thought it was just a game."
Yeah.
No, Patrick, because if that was a Canadian thing, it might have not have been over here. So I'm not so sure. Yeah, Nicole, you're only 3 years older than me. Shut up.
But through the veil is 48.
Yeah, I'm talking about Nicole Pagan from Belgium.
Right.
Shadows, you read his mind.
Cause about the toys in kindergarten and that, I think.
And that's what it felt like. I mean, it really did, because you just push it around the bars and the shit, like not realizing what the hell it was for.
Yeah, it was a toy. Yeah, we had them in school, but oddly enough, introduced it as a toy, not an actual learning tool. Yep.
We were learning before we even were learning that thing.
Yeah. Nicole's like, I ain't shutting up.
And then then Dale says, the other Nicole, laugh out loud.
That's right.
All right. Let's carry on now. That was a good, quick blast from the past.
Right. So Indrid Cold, I mean, do you guys think Indrid Cold was a real person? I mean, you've heard more Indrid Cold.
You know, part of me wants to say yes, but a bigger part of me wants to say no. It was more of a setup, like a sting operation kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Cold wasn't real, but Cold was real.
I think Indrid Cold was like basically like the one that like David Skyfall. I don't think David Skyfall is government. I think David Skyfall is...
No, he's on the... He's hiding from the government.
Yeah, I think he is somewhat... Could be not of this planet.
All right, Freaky. Welcome back, Vale. I don't know. I guess you can go that far. Only because how long does it take him to communicate with Craig?
Chad.
Or Chad. He disappears for a long time.
Right. So it says Indrid visits my home. One night while living in Mineral Wells, I came home very late from work. It was very cold and the usual crowd of watchers had left. I parked my truck by the side of the house, and soon as I opened the door of my truck, I heard Indrid Cold say, "Don't be frightened, Woody. It is Indrid and my friend Carl." Okay.
So Carl's going to be the man in black?
I don't know. They were waiting for me on the back porch. I invited them into my house, but they refused to say that they didn't want to awaken my family or frighten them. Although it was very cold, we sat on the porch and talked for approximately 2 hours. They talked of their home and how they lived. They told me that they had never had any kind of war in the world and that they could not understand the word hate. They are taught from childhood that all people are brothers and sisters, and it doesn't matter where they come from or who they are or what color. They are all God's children, and so that they are one family in God. They believe that there was only one God who created all the worlds and life. They believe that God loves one as much as the other, and that God's love was no discrimination. They truly lived in the belief that every man is equal. They believed that the man's sole purpose on the world was to serve God and to help one another. I tried to tell him of our way of life, and it seems much more complicated than theirs. I told him of our different religious belief, which baffled him completely. I couldn't explain it to them, and I was baffled too. When I finished telling him about our different beliefs and our unbelievers, he was really mixed up at the end. Said, "I'm not Superman. I can understand why he can't understand our religion." I also could not tell him why we have wars, why we can't get along with our own neighbors, let alone try to explain why we can't live in peace with different parts of the world, thousands of miles away. I became so confused trying to explain it all that I asked him to tell me why we live in fear and hatred. He told me it was the inability to communicate with each other. The words alone are not enough. We have to show each other what we concern about, that we are actually concerned about one another. He said that if the people in our world had telepathy, we could understand each other a lot better. We would have all the thoughts we could put into words and said something that was taken differently than the way it was meant to be.
And that makes absolute sense.
Right. He also said that everyone on the earth has the ability to use telepathy. We just have never learned to use it. We learn it because it's easily taught, and some of our people already have it. Even though I had been using telepathy, I still did not understand it completely. So when Indrid Cold was talking to him, it was telepathy. And what he's saying, basically, even though I used it and I don't know how I used it, do you know what I mean?
Right.
Which I can understand. So I asked Ingrid to explain it to me. After he had done, I did understand it, but it was still hard for me to put into words, although I will try. Mental telepathy, or thought transference, as they call it, is simple. It's merely the ability to release your thoughts, and to do this, you have to trust the person or persons you are talking to for you to actually open your mind to let the other person look into it.
So is it really telepathy that you're doing? I mean...
So basically, he says, you just think what you want them to know.
Welcome back, Freaky.
Welcome back, Freaky. And the thoughts are transferred into the other person's mind.
So is there a space distance, or can it happen from anywhere in the world?
As long as you trust that person to be able to, like, there are some people, I know there is some people out there that sit there and they can tell when somebody's trying to read their mind, because they're like, get out of my mind.
Well, yeah, they're like, get out of my head.
Yeah.
We do that all the time to
jokingly,
each other, though.
Jokingly. Well, yeah, I mean, when we get on a connection, that's one thing you guys don't, and maybe you have seen it at some point at us talking about different things. When me and him get on that wavelength, it's almost like we have telepathy.
Yeah, we're finishing each other's sentence to a point, and it's like, just shut up. Let me finish.
Right.
Don't open your mind, Freaky. A vacuum that strong could be hazardous to the rest of the country.
So it says, let me finish this before it's almost time to go.
Okay, well, we got time. We got all the time.
We do have all the time.
Because there is no such thing as time.
That's right. You just think what you want them to know, and the thoughts are transferred in the other person's mind. Indrid told me that the impulses from a person's mind are stronger than any radio signal known. But you have to know how to direct them and control them. You are also the receiver. You have to know how to relax your mind and let the thoughts or words
to be able to send it.
Or the thoughts, if you're sending it to me, how to open,
receive what you're sending back.
Let the thoughts or words form in your own mind. It does sound hard to understand, but it does work. For with them, I can communicate as easily as I can speak English. I have met 2 people here on Earth that I have, to a certain degree, learned to receive their thoughts.
All right, Vale. Thanks for coming in, hon.
Thanks for coming in, Val.
Always enjoy your company.
You cannot force your thoughts on another person. They have to be released and flow out. You have to learn how to release and relax your mind, and this is done by mind exercise. They have taught me how to do this. It was easy, and I learned to do it quickly. I believe everyone here on Earth can learn it just as easily.
I think this is where me and Sancho could actually have a moment to agree to disagree. Time doesn't exist because time doesn't know it exists. Time doesn't know it's even time. Time is just a man-made concept of space. So there is no such thing as time. It's man-made. Okay. Now we can agree to disagree, and I'll leave that right there. You want to get into a good subject like that, we got to go to my channel, Andy's channel, when it's time.
So it says, no matter who you are, what you are, no one can read your mind without your consent, without the full cooperation of both parties. Mental telepathy or thought transference is absolutely impossible. Nobody, including these people from space, can read your mind without your help and consent. If everyone here on Earth could use telepathy, it would be so much easier to see that there would be complete understanding between everyone. This in itself would stop wars and hatred. For once you can learn to understand a person, you can learn to love them. And that's true. Transmitting your thoughts is easy once you know how. It's almost like daydreaming. Completely relaxed and letting your thoughts just drift into the ones you are thinking of. The people from the space did not always have the ability to use telepathy. They have a legend of how their world was populated and how telepathy came through their god. So apparently, in the beginning, he said a spaceship crash landed on Welllllcome, which is where Indrid comes from, supposedly from Earth. The space travelers. So I wonder, that makes me think, now does like aliens, right, have a story like Earthlings crashed? Do you know what I'm saying? Like we hear.
Well, we are led to believe that we were not actually born here on Earth. We arrived.
So are they hearing the same story, only vice versa?
Could be. That actually, I mean, that's pretty good. People would run from all the movies I see in my head. No, I don't believe that anymore. But that's a good take on that.
I know, it makes me think. So Indrid told me that their world was guided, but what did they call it? The guiding council. The council is comprised of representatives from the different worlds belonging to the intergalactic circle, which I've heard many times. Each planet elects their representatives, the number depending on the population of the world, and are elected by popular vote by the people.
It sounds like our president.
The intergalactic circle is beneficial, and all the planets receive the benefits of sharing in all the new developments in the field of technology, medicine, engineering, etc. The Guiding Council studies each world's problem. Now, this is Ingrid Cold telling.
And I know who Ingrid Cold is.
Woody this. The Guiding Council studies each world's problem, no matter what kind, and recommends the way to overcome them. They cannot use force of any kind in a way, but because of the inability to understand each other, there is always a way to find the cause and cure of any problem.
You're right, and they're not supposed to retaliate with any form of hatred or anything.
Right. They don't know that.
Well,
honestly, they don't know that.
That's why don't. We're not allowed to retaliate against them.
Right, but it almost sounds like how the aliens met with, what's his name, and the president. I can't think of which one it was. I'm not still
Nixon?
not aware. No, it wasn't Nixon.
Before or after?
Before.
Kennedy.
No.
God damn it! I know who it is too. I know who you're talking.
I know. I almost said Eisenhower.
Roosevelt?
No, I think it was Eisenhower.
But
anyway, they wanted to. No, that's Roosevelt. But
before
that's
him.
not. Yeah. They wanted to give us free energy. Sorry about what?
Just...
No. they wanted to give us free energy, and he said no. You know, so that makes me believe that even more, that happened, because here this galactic circle is beneficial, and all planets receive the benefits of new developments in the field of technology, medicine, and engineering. So that kind of makes me believe that, yeah, this is your problem. We want to help you fix it.
But they want to help us. But we have people in power that say, no, I rule it. I will take care of it, as they destroy it even further as time goes on.
Right. Well, see, Patrick, with the reptilians, Ron explained it to me, there's two different kinds. There's the bad and the good. But also, I've heard other people state that the reptilians of the past are not the reptilians of today. That they're not, I know a lot of people think that the government, a lot of them, because that's Illuminati, the reptilians.
Right, but remember, humans of the past ain't the same as humans of today.
And that's how the people that have talked about the reptilians today, they're like, we know that that's what our story is.
It's how,
but it's not how we are anymore.
And that's how us older generation
right.
is trying to explain it to the world. This is not us.
Right, yeah.
This is not how we brought this world to where it is.
Right, yeah.
But yet, we get blamed for the free fall.
That's why I keep, when it comes to aliens and UFOs, I keep a broader perspective. I take everything, not with a grain of salt. I take in everything, but I also look at the big picture. Do you know what I mean? Kind of like the way I look at evidence as well, too, is that I sit there and I analyze it, put it in my Rolodex, basically, and then if I hear something that is like close to this, I'll study that more. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And let me see if I can say this real quick. God, here goes that damn thing.
That's a good question, Andy. I wonder that sometimes too. Go ahead,
Fuck,
sir.
I can't.
Oh, all right. Calm down.
No, this dumb thing keeps popping up. So related to reptilians, and I agree with him 100%. The human mind is the strongest warrior that you can ever find. Have we tried to take it a step further to create the super soldier?
Right.
Yes, I believe we have.
But that's a good question about, are we related to the reptilians? We very well could, that could be where that part of our mind comes from.
How can some people hold their breath that long?
You train. Your body can do anything.
You can train all you want, but to hold your breath for almost 5 minutes is almost unheard of.
Your body can do a lot more than people. You know that as being a Marine. What do they tell you? They push you more and more to show you that. You just guys don't never take it further.
You don't have a breaking point.
Right.
But you do.
There's nothing I could be told that I would say could not happen to me. That's how I am, Melanie. That's how I am. I take everybody's, what experiences, especially talking that something happened. And when, as a risk, as an investigator, I want to find out what happened. I want them to be comfortable in their own, whether it be their home or whatever, and find out the truth of what's going on.
And it says we're the only species who can't live in harmony with the surrounding world and kill each other off at any opportunity. Even predators only hunt for food and not for sport. And I think the only reason why we can't live in harmony because everybody wants to live in their own harmony. They want the whole world to be their harmony.
Right.
And now you have invaded my harmony. Now you piss me off. Now I'm not happy anymore. So I lost my harmony.
Totally, Patrick. Patrick says they may be the reasons they are interested in our weapons in our world. Like believes Missy, they think that we're the threat to them. Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's why I believe that they shut down our silos, is because we're not only affecting our freaking world, we're affecting the solar system. We're
trying to kill it.
Right. You know, we blow up our own world, we're affecting the whole solar system. You know, or freaking shooting, my biggest one, you guys have heard me bitch about it before, shooting a fucking missile to the moon.
Why the fuck did we do that?
you want to blow it out of the freaking orbit? I mean, stupid. It's just stupid.
Thank God it was only the one missile.
Right, yeah.
I mean, if they would have bombarded that with 4 or 5 of them, imagine that turning. Just 1/8 of a 16-inch. Throws everything completely out of balance.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The thing is that all the countries in the world who feel different to other countries are all built on the same place of rock. Exactly, Andy.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why I believe everybody that has seen something, or, you know, and what pisses me off is when investigators say that this is what they do and that, but yet make fun of people. That gets me so bad.
That is
when they're supposed to be respected paranormal people that try to help people, which is cool, but don't discredit people in the same way.
Just because they didn't see what you seen.
Exactly. That fucking pisses me off. That pisses me off. I mean, like I said, back in the day, paranormal people didn't get along with UFO people, who didn't get along with cryptid people, who didn't get along with paranormal people. It was very rare. I was one of them. I'm not saying the first, but that I study it all, because it's all, to me, it's all supernatural. It's all,
absolutely.
Well, it's all natural. I think it's normal, not paranormal.
I think all species of monkeys do the same thing. You're absolutely right. Yeah, they all hang together. They all have their own cliques. Yep, you're absolutely right. I would, and Missy would be the first one to tell you that I watch a lot of the zoo videos, and I watch a lot of that shit on YouTube. It intrigues me. It's outstanding to see a complete wild animal protect a human being from another animal when we should have been its prey. So I find all that amazing to watch.
But I even do, let me just state too, that I do even question my stuff. Like when I show evidence and everything like that, and you think it's fake, do you think it's fake or real or whatnot?
Your opinion of matter.
I piss myself off for doing that, because to me, it's like, I don't want to get upset, but
and you're starting to.
I know. To me, it hurts if somebody puts up, they're asking, what do you guys think?
Glad to see you still here, Sophie.
Yeah, definitely. What do you guys think? Because they don't know. And they get picked on for it. That's not fair.
Harambe, wasn't that a gorilla?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it was the...
Wasn't that the oldest gorilla in captivity?
I believe so.
I remember watching that chimp, and it was dying fast, and then the doctor, the vet,
yeah, I remember
that took care of it. That chimp wouldn't eat, and then he showed up, and she hugged him and ate some,
right,
and spent her last moments with him.
Right.
See, now it's gonna almost make me cry, because that was so touching.
I don't know. Even sometimes I piss myself off when it comes to that, you know?
Has who learned to mimic human behavior? Because a lot of our behavior we actually learned from them. Monkey species baboons are the most related to us. You know, I got to do a little bit more reading and looking into it, Nicole. But from what I'm understanding, we don't even come from the monkey species at all anymore.
Not baboon. No, actually, the most close animal that's related
is a chimp.
No, it's dolphins.
Yeah, that's true.
It's dolphins. But anyway, well, not only, you know, that's like when we talk about different species of aliens and stuff like that. Look how much junk DNA we have that activates. That's why I listen to the binaural beats and everything that's supposed to activate. But then I'll get downloads. I feel that there are downloads about why I'll start. What happens is I'll listen to whatever on YouTube, the binary beats or whatever, and that is supposed to activate something, right?
Do you know when I...
Hold on, let me finish. Okay, let me finish for 1 second. I'll listen to them, and then I'll have that period where I get tired, and I'll lay down, and all of a sudden I understand something more. Do you know what I mean?
Because it took your mind time to absorb it.
Well, I feel like I go to sleep to get those downloads, and then...
It took your mind time to absorb it.
Right.
And this is how when I know you got a download going,
right.
That's how I know it's downloaded. Right. Now you're trying to process it into words.
You're right. Yeah. When I'm harder on the keyboard.
No, just the speed that you're typing with.
Oh.
It's. I know you're a fast typer.
Right.
But you kind of hit the speed of like, and I'll sit here and I'll look over like, and you're just like, like what the fuck is really happening over there? Baboon shirkless, 98% of their...
it's not bamboo or baboon.
It's baboons in common with humans, meaning that their genomes are more similar to that of humans. You're right. They are more similar to us, but that's not where our genes lie. So for everybody working, we are trying so hard not to have two shows at one time.
Oh yeah. They're gonna be like baboons, aliens, aliens.
I'm trying to keep our show, Andy's in mind.
Oh,
different.
Oh, I thought you meant this show.
Well, no, because it kind of falls into line.
Because that's what I thought.
But yeah, Andy and I got a whole different kind of channel where we'll talk about pretty much anything.
Yeah, scary. So what do you guys think? Do you think Enter and Call? You probably answered that after I asked it and then started reading from the book.
What book? The Bible?
No, Visitors from Welllllcome.
Oh,
John Keel's book.
It was a joke.
Oh. Yeah, Bruce and Bobby.
See, there's Bruce and Bobby again. I said that earlier.
Yes, you did. About Indrid Cold.
I know, Andy. That's, we'll just leave that for later.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, I'm getting over to dlive right now.
Freaky Geek says, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go over to dlive and hype it up until I got in chat and said, dude, she's dropping 400 lemons in there. You see where he's at, right? He's in dlive. Oh, yeah, there's absolutely, you know what?
And you guys talking, there's 52.50 lemons, or 52 and a half lemons in there. Because every time you guys chat in dlive, it adds more lemons.
I don't know what you're saying, Melanie, Indrid, or you mean inbred?
No, Indrid. Here, I'll put it in the chat.
What the hell is Indrid?
That's his name, Indrid Cold.
Oh, his first name.
Yes.
Got you. See, again, they're just so amazing. All right, are we?
Melanie says, here? I think Indrid was real. Yeah, I think he was too.
Yeah, I was hearing the same thing, Freaky Geek. Well, I wasn't hearing it, but I was reading it. Yes, Lockbeard, we are here testing 1, 2, 3. Show cash, not checks. That doesn't work that way. Besides, we got the PayPal, or you can buy us coffee. That way we know you're real.
He's going all commercial mode.
I'm just fucking having fun. All right, so this is my turn. Guys, I want to give you a fist bump.
I don't have the things ready.
That's not my fucking problem. This is your end of the show. Hello?
Did it add? Wait a minute. Did it add to the
lemons? She lied. She has not given you 400 lemons.
Did it add lemons? Yes, it did. 419. Okay.
Okay. This is where I get to see fist bumps to the guys, hugs to the ladies. Stay safe. Stay strong. We'll get through this together. And I hope I get to see you before the end of the week. If not, I apologize. And I'll see you this weekend.
Lockbeard, did you get timed out? Or was it just YouTube? Nobody should get timed out.
I think it was just YouTube did it because I didn't time them out.
Yeah, I didn't see any notifications.
Did any mod in here time out Lockbeard?
All right, I'm pressing the button right now. So 20 seconds, guys. Yeah, 20 seconds. If it doesn't pop up from you, hit the chest and it should pop up.
He said it was YouTube. He thinks that, excuse me, that was giving him hell.
Okay. Lockbeard, Restream bot is not.
It's not a person.
No, it is a person.
Well,
if you look after the Restream bot, it'll have the name of the person that's talking through Restream.
Not if it's the Restream bot laying out your rules.
Yeah, but I think somebody asked if he was timed out and he thought it was Restream bot. Ask him that. All right. Nicole got 146.8. Heather got 84.7. Patrick got 61.5. Freaky Geek got 49.1. And Amora got 41.2.
Freaky Geek says, I didn't time him out, but I'll take the blame.
Nice. That's nice of you, Freaky Geek. Yeah, I didn't think anybody. Yeah, Freaky Geek, yes. Thank you, G-Smoke. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day as well. I hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what we're talking about. Something witchy, I guess.
It's Thursday.
I know.
I had to stop and think actually what
day it was. I know, my week is so screwed up. Nicole got her 11 session. Stop bitching.
Going to work 7 days a week kind of fucks you up on which day it is.
That's funny.
Freaky Geek, you're fine, brother. Always. This is not a mandatory show-up session.
Exactly. So everybody, we will see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Can't say we.
Yeah, because Eddie might not be here, but take care, be safe, and remember, find something today that makes you smile with your eyes. Please, for me.
For us.
For us. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you guys. Mwah.